Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm doing an oil change, as you can see here on the Sportster, and I just want to kind of go over something really quick. I wasn't going to do a video initially, but I guess we'll do a little bit of a how-to since we're already here. And then also I just wanted to show you guys this oil. So I mean, just look at this oil. Put a little bit on my finger here and get a close-up. On my finger it doesn't appear that dark, especially once it starts to run off my finger, but this oil, I mean, it looks especially dark. And this is Mobil 1's V-Twin full synthetic 20W50 that I have in here. This oil's only been in this bike for about 500 miles. It's a little bit concerning. I understand this is an air-cooled motorcycle, so it's gonna, be a lot more harsh on the engine oil, because its only cooling property is the movement of air over the fins and cooling down the oil temperature of the bike as you're moving. So I get that it's going to be a little more harsh on the oil, but this is pretty dark for 500 miles. I do have some theories that this may be a little bit diluted by fuel as well, since I had been tinkering and messing with the carburetor for so long trying to get that running right. But yeah, this is pretty dark, so I'm going to go ahead and change this out today. And that was one of the things I wanted to discuss, was the oil that I'm going to use here. This is Lavalier's VR Run racing oil, and you're probably thinking or noticing right away that this is not motorcycle specific oil. Zoom in on this here. This oil is actually performance formulated for pushrod and flat tappet engines, and that's exactly what a Harley Davidson Sportster engine is. That's pretty much almost all of Harley Davidson's lineup except for the new stuff. But your twin cams, your Sportster Evo motors and all that stuff, these are flat tappet pushrod motors. So this stuff has a high concentration of zinc in it that helps with the wear items inside the motor that really need that extra zinc, such as flat tappet cams and push rods. I was reading up on the forums that this is actually really good oil for this bike, so I'm going to go ahead and give this oil a try. I've heard that it withstands the heat very well. Also, this is not a synthetic motor oil. It is just a standard motor oil, so you will need to change it a little bit sooner maybe. I still think you should be able to get a fine 3,500 miles out of it if you keep an eye on it and see how it's doing. And also, depending on the conditions you're running it through, it could go even a little bit further. It's only $10 a quart, which I want to say the Mobil 1 V-Twin up there was about $12 a quart, so it is a little bit cheaper. You only need 3 quarts of it to do a proper oil change on a Sportster, so I've got 3 right here. All 3 should not go in. I know when I changed the oil before on this, I want to say it took about 2.5 quarts, which put it like halfway up the dipstick. And keeping these motors halfway up the dipstick is a pretty good idea, because they do tend to spit oil out of the breather holes over by the intake if you overfill them. So we'll go over that as well. As you can see, I've got my handy aluminum foil trick over there under the filter. So we're going to change out the filter today as well. We're going to put the same K&N filter there. So that part number is a KN170 filter. They carry them at my local O'Reilly's. Surprisingly, AutoZone does not carry any motorcycle stuff here in Florida where I'm at for some reason. So to start your oil change, you're going to need to remove one of these. This is an 04, so from 04 to 06, I believe they use these right here. This just clamps onto the frame underneath of here, and then this hose right here, it just plugs up in there, keeps the oil from coming out, and then you clip it onto the frame of the motorcycle. If you have a newer Sportster, what you're actually going to find is basically just the tip of this inside of this hose under here, and you're just going to pull that little plug out and let it drain. If you have a older Sportster than this, you may find this hose is actually up on the frame like it is with this, except this piece will actually be a permanent part of the frame. It does not come off. Either way, find this hose, let the oil drain out. Mine's pretty much done. It's barely dripping here, so we're going to go ahead and get this back in place, and then we'll take the oil filter out. All right, so we've got our little drain plug piece back in place down there. We're going to go ahead and take this oil filter off. Like I said, this is a KN170 filter. I love these filters because they've got this little nut built into them on the end here. They're super easy to take off, especially if you're limited on space, kind of like you are with these ones. You can use the claw type grips and get in here and twist on it, or you can get the cap style oil filter wrenches as well. But I like these because they make it super simple. Everybody's got a set of sockets at the house that's working on their own stuff. So let's go ahead and break this oil filter loose. All right, here it comes. And then we are going to get some oil out of here as well. So once that starts to drain out, hopefully it'll flow down our aluminum foil and into our pan. Should be able to get this by hand. Yeah, there's a little bit of oil coming out there. Not much quite yet, but there will be a lot coming out of here once I get it a little more off. There we go. And I've just got that routed to drop right down there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this oil filter off and we'll be ready to put the new one on. So the oil filter's off now. I mean, just, it looks pretty dark even on the oil filter here. And this oil filter actually left me a good example of something to look out for you guys who are doing this for the first time and learning from this video. So if you notice here, if you look around the lip, on our new oil filter, there's gonna be a rubber seal here that we're gonna pre-lubricate with a little bit of oil before we spin it on. Well, in this filter's case, that little rubber seal actually stuck itself to the oil filter housing of the actual motor. So if I reach my fingers in here, I can go ahead and remove that. So this piece right here actually sits on the oil filter like so in that groove. So as you can see, it got stuck to the motor in this case. You want to make sure that it is not stuck there and you take that off, because if you try to put your new oil filter on there with that little rubber piece in place, you'll have two sealing gaskets and it won't be a proper seal, and then oil is going to come spilling out of that seal because you have two pieces of rubber that are now mashing together and it's just not able to create a proper seal. So make sure that that comes off with your old oil filter, and then just clean up the area where the rubber sits. Just wipe it down with a cloth and then you'll be ready to put your new one on. Okay, so we've got all the oil out of the bike. We changed our filter. The filter is nice and snugged up. Next thing we need to do is come over to this side of the bike here. We're going to take our oil dipstick completely out, place a funnel in here, and we're going to start by filling the bike with exactly 2 quarts of oil. We're then going to start the bike up, and we are going to look on the dash right here for this red oil light to go out within a few seconds after starting the bike. If the light does not go out within a few seconds, turn the bike off immediately, add, you know, a few 100 milliliters of oil, no more than, I'd say, another half a quart, and then start the bike up again and look for that light to go out. After we're done, we're going to let the bike warm up to operating temperature, and we're going to check the oil level, because if you look really closely on here, I know it's hard to focus, it actually says check oil level hot on here, and we only want our oil level to be between those 2 lines. We do not want it all the way to the top, and we do not want it all the way down here, because the difference between the bottom line and the top line is actually a full quart of oil. So I'm going to go ahead and place 2 quarts in here. I'm going to let the bike warm up a really good amount, probably let it idle for about 5 minutes, and then we'll check our oil level. Now while I'm letting this quart kind of drip in here to get the most out of it, I want to go ahead and go over something I don't think I already went over now that I think about it. So like I said, we're using this Lavalier VR1 oil right here, and that oil is formulated for use in push rod, flat tappet motors, and it's very good for air-cooled motors as well. But what I didn't cover was that oil is not designed for motorcycles. So that oil cannot and should not and will not ever go in your primary engine case. So under here is the clutch, and this cannot handle this oil. The additives in this oil may cause your clutch to slip. You must use the proper motorcycle oil, 20W50, or there are gear oils that you can run as well. And I think some people use ATF in here also, but it has to be friendly with wet clutches. This oil is not friendly for wet clutches. The only reason that I'm using it on this Harley Davidson Sportster is because the oil that touches your clutch in this primary case is separated from the actual engine. And so that's one of the benefits to a Harley like this, is since they are separated systems, you can run engine oil in your motor, and then you just run the proper stuff in your primary, and there's really no harm, no foul. Now keep in mind, you don't just want to go get any run-of-the-mill motor oil. For one, the viscosity matters, so sticking to 20W50 definitely, but on top of that, not all conventional motor oil can handle an air-cooled motor. This VR1 handles air-cooled very well. People use it in a lot of old school Beetles, which are air-cooled. So this oil is designed to take the heat. So don't just go throw any conventional motor oil into the motor of your Sportster. I just wanted to reiterate that point, get that point across. Do not put it in your primary. and make sure you're running, you know, something such as this VR1. Do your research. I did my research. I found this on the forums. People love it, so I'm just gonna give it a shot. All right, so I have 2 quarts in the bike right now. It's registering on the low side on the dipstick, but like I said, this bike is supposed to be checked with the oil temperature at operating temp. But we're gonna go ahead and get the bike started. And like I said, what we're looking for is for this red oil light right here to turn off and stay off. If it does not, turn the bike off immediately and add more oil. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get her fired up. All right, so the bike ran and idled for about 5 minutes. Probably a better choice to just go out and ride it, but I don't really have the time or the want to right now. So we're gonna go ahead and check the dipstick. I guarantee you it's probably not even touching the dipstick at this point. And we get real close. It's all the way down near the bottom. So the difference between the bottom line and the top line is 1 quart. I'm gonna start by putting a half a quart in it because I do not want it to register all the way full. I want it to register just about halfway up, maybe a tiny bit more than half, which last time I did the oil change, a half a quart seemed to put me right about there. But you never know. We'll see how much oil got out of the bike this time, and we'll see if there's any variance. All right, so as you can see, I took this bottle down to the 500 milliliter mark. So I've got a nice clean dipstick here. I'm gonna go ahead and place this back in, and we'll see where we're at. And there we are. So that extra just about 500 mLs put us right about there. I'm going to take it up to where the O on oil starts right there. And that probably should only be maybe another 100 mLs, if that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add that. It's actually fine to run it where it's at. Like I said, you don't want to really fill these things all the way up because they will blow oil out of these breather ports right here and all over your air filter, and it could start dripping down all over your motorcycle. So you do not want to do that. But that's basically how you do an oil change on a Harley Davidson Sportster. Pretty much almost probably every year the motor hasn't changed. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. A little tutorial, little overview of the oil there and why we're using it. If you found this video helpful, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. More videos to come, and I'll see you guys in the next one.